I'd like to call to order the Alexander County Board of Commissioners meeting, June 19th. Tonight we'll have Commissioner Ronnie Reese to give our invocation and Commissioner Herman to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Stand. Let's pray. Father, we come to you this evening, Lord, thanking you for this rain and, Lord, the blessings that you give each day. Pray for those that may be in the path of a storm, and Lord, we know that they're calling for rain and bad weather here the rest of the week, but just protect us, keep our county safe as you've done already. Thank you for these that have traveled tonight to be here. Give us all protection as we travel back home when we're finished. Give us good, clear minds and give us wisdom as we make decisions to move Alexander County forward. Pray for all those that put their life on the line for us each day, our emergency services and sheriff, highway patrol, police, fire department, all those who protect us, take care of us. And we give you thanks for it all. In your name I pray. Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to thank everyone for attending this evening's meeting. Right off the start here, we have a special recognition, County Manager Oath of Office for Shane Fox, given by Clerk Jamie Starnes. We'd like to, as we've said before, we'd like to welcome Shane to the county. He's already got dove in there and got his feet wet, or submerged one. And his family is here with him this evening. His wife Jennifer and Owen and Ryan's son and Caroline's daughter, if I got that correct. Just throw something if I did. But
Okay, ready?
Ms. Starnes.
Ready? Do you, Shane Fox, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States, so help you God? Do you, Shane Fox, solemnly swear that you will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, and that you will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of your knowledge and ability, so help you God?
I do.
Do you, Shane Fox, further swear that you will well and truly execute the duties of the office of Alexander County Manager according to the best of your skill and ability, according to the law, so help you God?
I do.
Congratulations.
Yes, you go right ahead, sir.
So first of all, it's great to have my family here. You're correct. So wife Jennifer, son Ryan, daughter Caroline, and Owen, our youngest here. It is a privilege to stand here tonight and take this oath. It's been a good first week and a half, I think, and look forward to the things to come. It really is an honor to feel like, or to be a part of the community and feel like we're coming back home. And Alexander County is going to be a place that we call home very soon as we can find a place to live. So we're excited about it, and the family's excited about it, being a part of it. Would also like to recognize there's two other members in the audience tonight. Sue Sweeting and Albert Yon are both either former or current town council members in the town of Blowing Rock. Both hired me a little more than 4 years ago to take that role. So if I could recognize them.
Sure.
Do you want to? If you don't mind, yeah. They made the trip down from Blowing Rock to come and be a part of this. So it's very, very flattering to me for them to come down here and do that. So.
Familiar with Taylorsville. I grew up in New, across the big river. Shane is not only, the good news is Shane's not only a good manager, he's a damn good man. The bad news is I have a bench warrant for his arrest. I'm taking him back to work all the time.
He's got to stay.
Yeah, the sheriff's not going to serve that. So thank you all. Thank you.
Going into Going into Commissioner's report, I am going to ask for representatives from Caleb Benfield family and fire department to come forward to the podium. I'm going to use my time to allow y'all to just give a description of what is going on.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Ashley Stearns. I'm the chief at Bethlehem Fire and Rescue. Tonight, we brought our juniors with us. We're having the Caleb Benfield Challenge. Caleb Benfield passed away on a motorcycle in 2012, returning from lunch when he was doing fire prevention. His life was considered a line of duty death, and we started there. Shelley and Bob really come up, I guess, with the idea to have this Benfield Challenge where these guys, some of them's from the county, some of them's from other counties, they come Sunday night, they stay at the fire department, they cook, clean, they get classes, they learn about fire, EMS, basically anything that we do at the fire department. They answer calls with us. If we get a call, they go out with calls with us and stuff like that. Basically just to live the life. And this week was actually special because, this meeting happening and with the budget and stuff, we kind of given them the high level of, what else goes on in the fire department besides just being a firefighter. This is what they're going to grow into, hopefully, and hopefully they do. I think when we was leaving, Bob said there was 14 of the kids that come to the challenge are now career firefighters. So we are making a difference. And this is Shelley Benfield. This is Caleb's mom and, the heart of the group.
I just want to personally invite any of you or anybody from the audience, sorry.
You're good.
If you are in the Bethlehem area this week and you want to stop by and see what the juniors are doing, we'll be climbing ladders, we'll be crawling around in turnout gear, we'll be shooting off fire hose and extinguishers. And I just appreciate your support for our district, support that we receive from Ashley and from the station, from the department. On Saturday, we'll be having a closing. They have a research project that they'll be presenting, and they can't come out of something that I do that doesn't have a little bit of homework. So please feel free to stop by, come see what we're doing, and support the program. And it's the annual thing, and it's our 10th annual, and we appreciate the opportunity to speak. Marty, thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you. And one other thing, how far away are some of these juniors coming from?
We got one from Raleigh, one from Roberson, Charlotte, and I think the rest of them from the county, Durham.
Cool. Thank
We
you.
get them all over the state. We can house 4 girls and 10 boys, and they stay at the department all week.
Mr. Chairman, if I can make one comment. I just want to say how wonderful people the Benfields are. Have had the privilege to go to church with them in the past. Know one of their sons pretty well. But both Mr. and Miss Benfield responded when my son was in our front yard with his hand hung in a dirt bike chain. And it was very comforting. They were ultra professional, but more than that, you could see the true caring. And I mean, just the true caring that they showed not only my son, but our family. And the world would be a better place if everybody, acted and lived the way the Benfields do. And that's it. Anyway.
Any commissioners have any reports for this evening?
Mr. Chairman, on Saturday afternoon, about 12:30, had the opportunity to cut the ribbon for the Bethlehem ice cream. And they have a nice facility over there, and it looks like they're doing a lot of business. They were busy Saturday. And then around 2 o'clock, had the opportunity to welcome the folks for the Juneteenth celebration at the Alexander County Courthouse Park. Had a nice crowd and nice music and good food. And I think everyone enjoyed themselves. And Helen Chestnut did an outstanding job of getting that together and bringing people together on Saturday.
Any other commissioners? Moving right along. Adoption of agenda. Do I have a motion that we adopt the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, make a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand. All in favor. Item number 1 tonight, we got public hearing, amendments to the voluntary farmland preservation program ordinance. Pamela Bowman will be reading over. Do I have a motion to open public hearing?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
All right, thank you. I joked with Chad, I usually have a slideshow and all, so it went simpler. I know y'all got a lot to cover tonight, so basically just wanted to update for anyone in the audience or that doesn't know the Farmland Preservation Program. The purpose of it is to protect and preserve farmland, agriculture, horticulture, and forested land, and to notify prospective buyers that there are existing farms nearby. So this is an ordinance update that is basically to bring our ordinance in compliance with general statutes. So the original ordinance was approved in March of 2002, so it's been a while, and there have been no known updates since then. So basically, just I'm going to go over a few highlights for you. Like I said, it's for getting in line with the general statutes. That some of those were changing what's qualifying farmland to include bona fide farms. It updates the application requirements to reflect the statutes, as I said. Changes the language from increased protection from nuisance lawsuits to decrease the likelihood of legal disputes. That's a hope that this plan does that. Changes or clarifies the language regarding jurisdiction and responsibilities of the VAD board. Ours was pretty good in line. There were some things that across the state didn't designate who did what, whether it was the commissioners or the VAD board. Ours was pretty good about VAD board, but had small changes to reflect our current meeting schedule. If you get an application, we would need to have a meeting within 90 days instead of ours said 30 days before. And also, one of the big things was, instead of saying that maps of the farmland preservation districts need to be in all these different offices, now it notes that GIS is available to look up these districts. Also, a big thing that'll be helpful is it allows for automatic renewal after 10 years, because these not conservation easements, these if you're in the preservation program, your contract is for 10 years. But normally, we had to get them to sign a new application. After 10 years now, it'll be renewed automatically as long as they want to stay in. Also, change the timeline for condemnation hearing to conform to a 30-day legal requirement. And we just organize the structure to better fit other county ordinances and documents. And one of the things that wasn't on your points that we had sent in was that it has been approved by the county attorney, Ben Falconberry. The VAD Farmland Preservation Program board has approved this in May of this year. Sarah Weevil with the Agriculture Development and Farmland Preservation also looked over it and approved it. Brian with the Planning Department has approved it. So if this is approved tonight, the application that we do to have people come into the program will be updated to reflect these changes. So does anybody have any questions about those specifics?
I believe so.
All right.
Does anyone from the audience here tonight have any questions, comments, concerns? We are in a public hearing. If not, do I have a motion to close public hearing?
Mr. Chairman, make a motion to close the public hearing.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? We will need to call for a vote. Do I have any motions?
Make a motion to approve the farmland preservation program ordinance as given.
Second.
All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 2, Alexander County 2023-2024 budget ordinance delivered by County Manager Shane Fox.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, Board of Commissioners, thank you for allowing me to speak tonight and formally present the budget ordinance that you have before you and was within your packet. I would like to start by saying thank you to the finance staff. Ms. Herman and Ms. Pennell are both here tonight, along with the department heads, for all the work that went into this budget. It's a little odd for me to stand here just so shortly into my tenure to present this budget because all the work is standing behind me and some of you as well up here who've worked so diligently on this budget. But tonight, you do have before you, within your packet, the budget ordinance. I did prepare a few slides that does kind of give a brief summary overview of the revenues and expenditures, talks about the value of a penny, et cetera. So if I can, we'll start the slideshow. The first slide is something that you've typically seen, which is a pie chart that shows your diversification of the revenues. The overall budget, general fund budget, comes in at $55,970,000, or $932. What is included in the budget is a 67-cent property tax rate and has a appropriated fund balance of $2.82 million. You will see here, again, your slides from property taxes being the largest of the pie at 48%, slightly higher than last year. Sales tax at 24%, a little bit less than last year. Restricted grants, which is federal, state, et cetera, grants at 13%. Sales and services at 8%. And then other, which does include that appropriated fund balance and miscellaneous income, as in investment, interest, et cetera, is at 7%. And so what you do see here is a very diversified revenue portfolio. Next slide. This slide shows the last 4 years, the county tax base. Obviously, in 2024, the great increase there due to the reval, the first one that had taken place in 8 years, along with the last 3 years, the tax rate at 79 cents, and this year what's being proposed before you is at 67 cents. The value of the penny is obviously coming off of the total tax base, went from $262 in 2021 to $392,000, or approximately $400,000. Therefore, a value of a penny, 1 cent on the tax rate, equals about $400,000 within the budget. Next slide. Similar slide here to expenditures. How does Alexander County spend a dollar? Public safety is number 1 at 33%, health and DSS at 27%, general is at 18%, education at 15%, culture, recreation, and environmental protections at 4.5%. Debt makes up 1.4%, and economic development is at 1.1%. These are in the same order as they were last year. Slight differences. Public safety went from 32 to 33. So again, slight modifications, but these are in the same order, with public safety being number 1, health and DSS being number 2, et cetera. Next slide. Since the budget was presented at the public hearing on June the 5th, we have made a number of changes, beginning with the appropriated fund balance number that was presented as a part of that budget on June the 5th at $3,784,000. We are now, like I said, at $2.8 million. So there's been a net change to the positive in this budget at $964,000. A few highlights: we did look a little more aggressively at interest income given the rates in which we're receiving right now. There was a grant that was received. You see that 142.5 before you. That's a revenue and an expenditure. That's a grant that's a full match, or not a match, but a full grant to the county. We were able to capitalize on our water and sewer allocation, something that we've not done previously, but time spent with the water and sewer fund, anything related to that, checks, these meetings, et cetera, we're able to capture that. So that's an allocation that we're able to move some money from the water and sewer fund over to the general fund, because time is spent not only on the general fund, but the water sewer fund as well. And so that was right at $100,000. Some additional taxes and fees, and the tax office had better projections than what was previously presented on the 5th. We were able to save some money as well through expenditures. We were able to reduce a couple positions throughout general administration, et cetera. Insurance savings at $140,000 comes in at number 2, very significant amount of money. We changed how we look at contingency a little bit to more streamline or centralize contingencies versus having those within a number of departments. We were able to net out 2 positions at DSS. That number's net of any revenue received, and then some other miscellaneous items as well. But overall, the budget that you received in in the public hearing on the 5th has changed to the good, $964,153. I will say the overall budget, less transfers, which I think is important. This year's budget, as I mentioned earlier, at $55,970,000, is up $1.2 million from last year, or about a 2.4% increase from last year's budget. So I'd be more than happy to answer any questions. This, again, is a brief overview. I know the formal budget was presented as part of the public hearing on the 5th. Just wanted to give you a summary, most notably, and share the changes that we made in the last 14 days, just so you're all aware, and obviously the public is as well.
Any commissioners got any questions or comments, concerns for manager?
Ms. Fox, what did you say and I didn't write it down, I should have, the percent change was from last year to this year?
2.4.
2.4.
That's excluding transfers. So your transfers to capital does fluctuate, school capital, et cetera. So excluding transfers, 2.4% increase, 1.2 million. And I can further elaborate if you would. Well, we did add $400,000 to courthouse potential design there. There was some SRO money that came in and is going back out, and then the QRVs and the additional 4 staff. Those are the 3 primary areas that you had an increase in the budget. Again, on the SROs, you did have an increase, obviously, in the revenue side as well.
One comment I'd make, when you look at the inflation rate in the United States, not only just the United States, but North Carolina, Alexander County, wherever, I think we would all agree that cost of living, cost of doing business has increased more than 2.4% in the last year. I mean, I don't know the exact percentage, but based on what we all are paying for everything, you know, for consumer products as well as utilities, I mean, just life in general, 2.4%. A 2.4% increase to me doesn't sound that bad. And I think everyone that's heard me talk before, I mean, I'd love to see our budget smaller. I'd love to see our tax rate be less. I'd love, you know, but we live in the real world. And as of right now, I don't think this looks too bad.
Mr. Chairman, just like to say, appreciate you coming in, heading this thing up. It was time to get somebody besides saying, well, the commissioners are doing this. We got a county manager who you're well-schooled in this finance, and I appreciate what you've done just in a short time, with looking at it. So I'm sure we've talked a couple of times. You're kind of like me, conservative. I think we work on the budget the whole year, Sometimes things do come up, where you may have to change something, but as Commissioner Lale said, I was on this thing when we went the other way. This is a reduction, 12 cents. That's probably, and I've said before, when I get my tax bill, I don't call all the kids in. We have a party and, eat some cake and ice cream. Nobody really enjoys getting a tax bill. And, but when you call that phone, you like for somebody to answer it, if it's 911 or whoever you're calling and talking to. So, and it costs money, to provide those services. But, I would like to see it less, but, I think we've done a good job. I know the chairman, myself, and you mentioned the finance people. It's something that you don't really think about till you're stuck in there trying to figure it out. So, and I do appreciate what you've done so far. And I think, we probably could go cheaper, but I don't want to get into a situation where we go so deep, then we got to come back and say, hey, we're going to have some more money back. But, as we go along, if there's a situation where we can, give some money back, I think, we continue to do that. So, but I appreciate your work on this.
Mr. Chair, I'd just like to say that appreciate what Mr. Fox has done in the Finance Committee. It is a move in the right direction. And is it enough? No, I don't think it's enough. To me, our county's still big government compared to the population in this county of our citizens. And I think there needs to be some more cuts made. But I do think and appreciate what the Finance Committee's done and you, Mr. Fox, and moving in the right direction, and hopefully we can get there.
Sir.
I'm good. I mean, I've looked at it and I've gone over it, and I talked to our county manager about it, and I think that even though I don't like tax bills, I'll give it to my wife and let her handle it, but, because I'll have to listen to it for a couple, 2 or 3 days. But letting all the jokes aside about that, I think that our finance department's done a good job, and we appreciate what you've done so far. And I still go back to the fact that if you want it, you got to pay for it. And there's some things that we do, and our emergency services and fire departments and these folks, these are people that we expect to be there. And, they showed up when I needed them last Monday night, and I appreciate the EMS being there. Glad they rolled up my driveway because I needed to take a trip. So, with that being said, I'm very, very good with this budget. There's some things that I would like to see have gotten more money, education being one of them. But we'll see what happens as we go down the road.
I'll make a few comments. Yeah, as we go through the process on budget committee and things of that nature, I do want to thank department heads, compliance officer, our chief financial officer sitting back there. I think they were pushed further than they've been pushed before, and asked some hard questions and did some problem solving throughout to try to come up with some more funds to shave off of this, off the proposed budget. Being a commissioner for the last 4.5 years, it's, I can stand up here and say confidently that this Board of Commissioners is pretty conservative, and it's hard. There's a breaking point. There's a happy median of how far you can cut and go before the wheels fall off of something. So I think that there's a possibility that we, might take a look at saving some more funds down the road here as retirements come along, and can, those job duties be dispersed amongst peers and things like that. So we do have a road ahead of us, and I think the full board up here feels like that we can do a little bit better than where we're at. But this is a great step in the right direction, in my opinion. And, you've only been here a week and a half, and you was able to help come up with an additional 900-some thousand, so, in different areas, so that's pretty cool, too. And then, originally when the proposed budget come out, I called for department heads to take another look at their budgets that they sent us to see if they would trim some fat off if they would, and I do want to thank the ones that did actually do that. That was highly appreciated. But I think we're good. So do I have a motion in regards to our budget ordinance for 2023, 2024.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the budget as presented and tax rate at 67 cents.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand. That's 4. All opposed? 1.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And you might as well just stay
I'll
there.
just
a
stay here.
second. Item number 3, budget ordinance amendments number 73 through 74, given by County Manager Shane Fox.
Thank you for allowing me to speak again. Do have two budget amendments here in front of me to present tonight, number 73 and 74. 73 is to increase detention center budget for estimated medical supplies and inmate medical bills for the remainder of the 22-23 budget year, including a single invoice for $15,000 for a safekeeper inmate held in state custody. We were able to offset those additional expenses with additional revenues that's been received by the Sheriff's Department through detention fees and inmate housing revenue. So no effect on fund balance for 73. Number 74 is a little bit odd that you'll see in front of you. Very large number, but I'll read the description here. This is to increase the general fund budget for the implementation of Governmental Accounting Standards Board Statement Number 96, also known as GASB 96, which changes the accounting treatment of subscription-based information technology arrangements. This is a fancy way of saying GASB, who governs our financial statements and our auditors follow the rules of, had a change, number 96, and a new statement that requires only on the full accrual, which is those first two schedules in your financial statements, the booking of our software contracts, which is the total you see before here. This has no impact on the expenses of the county. This is a book-only entry, and you will only see it on those two schedules in the financial statement. So no monetary effect of this journal or this amendment. This is simply a book entry required prior to the end of the year and prior to the auditors coming in. So I'd be glad to answer any questions for you.
What's the pleasure of the board?
Make a motion to approve ordinance amendments, budget 73, 74.
Second. Altogether.
All in favor? Unanimous. Item number 4, board reappointments, delivered by Jamie Starnes, clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We need to make one reappointment to the Region E Aging Committee, which is Billy Walker for 2 years. For the Planning Board, reappoint Bud Kaywood, Don Harrington, and William Mitchell, who is the town representative, for 3 years. CVCC Board of Trustees, reappoint Jeremy Fortner for a 4-year term.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the county appointments as read.
Second.
All in favor? Unanimous. You've had a chance to go over the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve consent agenda as given in our booklet.
Second.
Second. All in favor, right hand? Unanimous. Yeah, now we're going to transition into our Consolidated Human Services Board meeting. So if anyone's wanting to leave at this time, it's a great place to do so.
Okay, see you.
See y'all.
See you,
Thank you.
Chairman.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Although it will be pretty exciting.
Well, to the ones that stayed, welcome. You have anybody sign up for public comment? Okay. Public health report given by Director Billy Walker.
Good
Good evening. I'm here to give a quick update of where we are as the Public Health Department as we're closing out the fiscal year. Our current vacancies, I am glad to say that we only have one, which is the Environmental Health Specialist position. We actually hired LCSW. Her name is Jana Brown, and she is working on getting all our contracts set up, and she actually saw 2 patients last week, so we are very thrilled to have her. Mental health is a huge issue in our county, and, you know, we've had a struggle hiring that position, and she is a great asset to our team. Today, we actually welcomed Caitlin Gansgrove. She is our health educator, and I'm very thankful for this position as well because myself included have been doing these outreach in the community, and it's stressed our staff in-house, so very thankful for that position as well. Situational reports, the community health assessment, we did submit that to the state April the 1st, but we have not heard back from that, whether it was approved or not, and we are currently, as a team, working on our strategic plan. Renovations, we are completed all of our goals for this year, and I actually included a slide that has pictures. We completed the outdoor storage building. We updated our conference room with new chairs, tables, and IT. We were also, you see that we updated our clinic area. We had an addition to our drug screening room, our lab area. We actually added a new checkout window. And this just has added to what we can provide to the community. We also did the scanning project for the environmental health, and that's been great as well. We need you to review the annual policies. Those are included in your packet, and it is a huge list of policies. But this is what the board has to review and approve every year. And you might just go through those. So what's coming, we are looking for the Medicaid expansion if it passes. That will be taxing on the Health Department and DSS. The ending of the public health emergency happened in May, and a lot of the funds for that went away. And then what's coming for the Health Department as far as improvements is we are hoping to get a covered entry so that we can serve our clients a little better to provide them some type of protection from the weather. And that is all I have. Do you have any questions?
On the annual policy review, do you need the board's approval this evening on that?
No, you sign them. Okay. But I just have to present them and you review them.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. Senior Center, Christy Hunt, Director.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay, George, you want to come up with me now?
Moral support.
Moral support, yes, thank you. I don't know if everyone here knows. I don't know if Mr. Fox has met.
Yeah, I've met.
Okay, all right. I appreciate you being here. Okay, so we're just going to talk a little bit about some of the activities we're continuing. Our usual needlework, exercise, wood carving, all those wonderful things we do every day. We have had some special classes which are drawing large crowds. So that is wonderful. Dur Holcomb from the Cooperative Extension Office came and taught a Lift Health Series. She's actually going to do a cooking class for us next. And Hidden Knot Art Center taught a ceramics class on April 14th. We had a good crowd for that. Bloom's Greenhouse come and taught a gardening class. They all got to take home a little bowl full of herbs. It was wonderful. The seniors really enjoyed that. It has good pictures there, playing in the dirt. Of course, bingo and birthday lunches are being very loved. We're out of space. We had to limit the number because we run out of tables. So that is wonderful. I love to see so many people wanting to come and play and enjoy that with us. Our music group, on the next slide, happens every Monday at 10 a.m. If you have not came to listen, you really should. They are a great group. They come and play, and we listen, they sing. It's wonderful. They always invite other people to come and play with them. We did have a little mishap, and our piano quit working. So I was trying to move some money and trying to figure out how we were going to pay for a new one, when one of our seniors very generously donated a $1,600 brand-new piano. I was very pleased. She just came in my office and she said, I'd be happy to pay for it. And Franklin, which is our gentleman who typically plays, went and picked one out. And I loved it whenever I got the invoice and it was said paid in full. So what more can you ask for? Our newsletter's changing a little bit. LPI Communities they print newsletters for several of our other surrounding senior centers. Everyone seems to really love them, so we're going to give it a try. We have to have advertisers in it, so it's going to be a little different. But they take care of all that. It's completely no cost to us. It does save us $3,500 for the year because we're not having to print the newsletter. We still have to create it, but they are going to print it. Those are just printed copies that I printed for you. Theirs will look more like a little book. It's going to be cute. So hopefully that's going to turn out really well. Okay, our senior celebration was a very big success. We had 138 people. We're not telling, we may broke fire code. So, it was great. We did have some people outside though, so maybe that'll be okay. They played games. Our dear mayor came and joined us, and we had a good time. It was fun. It was really fun. The seniors just had a ball. We did not just hand out their door prizes like we normally do. They had to play for them this year. We played Let's Make a Deal, and it was wonderful. They had a good time with that. Brookdale sponsored our Chick-fil-A lunches, our box lunches, saved us over $1,300. So we try to get as many sponsors as we can. It was wonderful. The T-shirts we gave out, I think you can kind of see there in the pictures. We paid for those with a fraud prevention grant because we had the fraud prevention tips on the back. We were doing movies, which have been very popular. We had 50 people sign up for our first movie in May, which was 80 for Brady. So they enjoyed that. We have several on there for the 9 to 5 movie too, so that'll be fun. Diamond Tours, we are doing great with that. We have had 36 people sign up for our Nashville trip. So we're very excited about that, and we've had several people already sign up for the Amelia Island trip in December. So they're getting back out, they're traveling. Just like with our day trips, they're really selling out. Our van can only hold so many, and that's great because we're filling it up. So that's always a fun time. Okay, our next slide talks more about some of the things we've done for the Shred-a-thon fraud prevention grant that we did receive. I have been asked to present this at our SHIP conference, since that is who give us the grant, and they've loved the ideas, and so we're hoping to really make really good way with that. And speaking of SHIP, our Medicare is on the next one. We counsel people every single day, and I think with the Medicaid, with everything ending for some people, several people have lost Medicaid, so they have came to us because now they have to change their plans. A lot of times when they lose a benefit like that, their medicines go way up. So it's kind of hard to try to find plans that's going to fit how they can afford to buy their medicine, plus be able to still get food. I had a lady come in Friday, and 3/4 of her income is going to go towards her medicine. So I done everything I could. We done the extra help application. We done the needy meds is what we do. It is patient assistance programs. I take every avenue to make sure that we find them as much help as we can, because it's pretty sad when you can't afford both. And we're all going to get there. You don't expect to be a diabetic whenever you're 70 or 80, and sometimes that insulin can be very expensive, even with the price reduction, but Medicare's working on that. So So there's just some of our savings. Our other two ladies at the center are now completely trained with Medicare, so now they can help me cancel. And it's not just me. So I'm very happy to have some help with that. They've worked really hard. This is not an easy course to take. It does require, you have to get on the computer, and it's a 13-hour online training certification course, but it is very intense. It's very grilling. Some of the questions, I don't think a lot of insurance agents would even know. So we're there to help, and I'm very happy about that. Our participation, it's doing really well. We have had a decent increase. It kind of looks a little off there simply because last May we had the voting. We had all the early voting in our building, so we did count those numbers. But our average is probably about 60 to 65 people a day between all of our centers. So I'm very happy with that. Social media has really taken very active, it's really increased actively. So I'm very happy about that. They're calling us. They see something posted and they're calling us quickly. So I love it. Try to keep them happy. That's what we do. Any questions?
I have a question on the Senior Connection. How do our seniors get a hold of this?
I email it. We email it, and once the newsletters are printed for us, then they can come in and pick one up at either one of our 3 centers. They can always do that. We did stop mailing them whenever COVID hit. It does save us $2,000 a year. So sometimes we still mail one. If somebody does ask for one, that's, a good distance and they can't come in, but they still want to see what's coming on. The email, most of our seniors do have email now, so it's really great, and that goes out to about 700 people. So it's getting out there. And then, of course, I have different departments that I email it to. There's several people that I email to at DSS and at the health department, and they send it out to people that they know that could benefit from it also. So it's wonderful.
Cool.
Good?
Just as a reminder, I am the Alexander County delegate for the senior Tar Heel legislature. And of course, we advocate to the North Carolina legislature regarding senior centers, seniors in nursing homes, and other issues like that. So we are looking for an alternate delegate. So if you have suggestions of a person who would want to serve, Christy can tell them what is involved, and I can tell them also, have them call me. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, Alexander County Department of Social Services, Thomas Mitchell, Director.
Good evening, Commissioners. I looked down at my phone. Looks like we're making record time, so I don't want to slow you guys down, but I definitely want to be available for any questions. So I'll give you a quick update for DSS. So right now, our vacancy rate is up around 9.6%. That's higher than we've seen in the last little while. So that's about 8 vacancies for us right now. We have hired 4 people since October. Chad's in a real big hurry. So go ahead, Chad. I'm sorry. So these are the 4 folks that we've hired. We don't have McGregor's picture yet, but those are the 4 people we've hired since our last meeting. And I'd just like to keep you all updated with the employment engagement things that we're doing. So April was Easter egg hunt, and May we did Cinco de Mayo. And then in June, this is June, we will be doing a ice cream social at some point, but we're running out of time, but we'll get that done. Just some program updates. So you're hearing a lot about the public health emergency ending and benefits changing. So that's the case for food and nutrition, food stamp waivers will be going away. Christy talked about the Medicaid impact, but of course there is a big impact to our seniors with this as well, because a lot of those seniors did get reset to the minimum amount, which I think is about $16 now, where they were getting $94. And so that's pretty significant in your food budget when you have small means to start with. The Supplements, they've done this for the last couple of years for the water program and the energy assistance program to send out supplements for those who receive the first round of LEAP and SIP and water program. This doesn't normally involve us. It's automatic payments for those that have already received benefits earlier in the year. Medicaid, again, just folks will be coming off the rolls. We talked about that a good bit at last meeting, about how that will shake out when Medicaid expansion rolls in, and I think that's the next slide. So Medicaid expansion, it's not a matter of being approved or not approved. Y'all know that's law. So the Medicaid expansion is the law of the land. We won't get a go-live date until we get a budget. And so if y'all are following that, there's still some wrangling going on with the Senate and the House about a budget that they can agree on. So House and Senate leadership are optimistic that we'll get this done by July 1st. But as you know, they don't have the same mandate as counties do. So they can go beyond July 1st, whereas we can't. It's possible that we don't get a budget before July 1st. But as soon as the budget is signed by the governor, they will give us a go-live date. So most of the directors across the state seem to think they're going to try to push us into this thing by the end of October, or maybe by October 1st, so I'm not sure. Which leads me to the next point. Money is provided. It's actually, we have the funds in-house. They push that money out to counties, and we are estimating that we will need 3 positions to handle Medicaid expansion based on the 3,000 cases that are estimated from the state. For the first 2 years, there is no county portion of funding for those 3 positions. And so I know those of you that sit on the management team have seen a little bit more detail about that, but we can certainly talk about it if you want. But the money is provided for those 3 positions, and they are estimating that we'll have about 3,000 expanded Medicaid cases when that does come live. So you want to hold the questions to the end, or you all have questions about the funding, those 3 positions that we requested?
Ian's fine.
Okay. So shelter, we just want to keep you all updated that we are continuing to do shelter training every quarter. Again, for Mr. Fox's benefit, this is just for staff to keep at the top of their brain that this is a mandated part of their job at DSS, to run the congregate shelter in the case of an emergency. And so we just quarterly, we do something with them shelter related, just so when something happens, DSS will be prepared to step up and do what we need to do. So that's what we're doing on our shelter training. There are currently 11 children free to adopt. That number has come down pretty significantly as the adoptions have picked up. Our adoption committee is meeting every month now. As of last count, this said 48 children in foster care. I do believe that number is 51 as I stand here now. And we've done 15 official adoptions in the past year. We've really, if all the paperwork was done, I think that number's closer to 18 or 19. But officially, we'll get credit for 15 adoptions this year, which is really a good number for Alexander County. Any questions?
In regards to families adopting, how many families do we currently have trying to qualify to be able to adopt? Do you know?
Most of those, I think, I don't want to misspeak, but I think at least 9 of those 11 are in adoptive placements. So the placement that they're in has shown interest of adopting them. So they're in different stages of being adopted, but 9 of the 11 are in adoptive placements, and I believe the other 2 are having a delay with the ICWA Act, Indian rules, Native American rules, so we've got a couple cases that are caught up in some ICWA rules. But the other 9 are in adoptive placements now.
And one more question on social workers. What's the average caseload on social workers?
It depends. So for foster care, you can carry 15 children per social worker. And for other child welfare programs, it's 10 cases per social worker, so foster care is the only one that counts by the child. So for assessments, for instance, which is our heaviest caseload at the moment, they're not counted by the child. They're just counted by the family. So if the family if you have a case with 4 kids, one with 2 kids, one with 3 kids, it doesn't matter. You can carry 10 cases to the current standard. So there are some changes, though. Actually, we're going through a time study right now, the state is, to figure out how much time is being invested in these cases, because that's what we keep saying to the state, is your standards are too high, especially in assessments. So we would like, DSS directors would like to move to the per-child caseload and have a number of children assigned to the caseload instead of a number of cases. But currently, it is 10 for other programs, 15 children for foster care. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will now go into closed session pursuant to NCGS 143-318-11A 5 and 6 for contractual and personnel. We will reconvene into open session only for adjournment. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you.